Mikey picked 7 watermelons, 15 zucchini, and 4 tomatoes on Tuesday. On Tuesday, Mikey picked half as many squash as the combined number of tomatoes, watermelons, and zucchini he picked. So how many squash did he pick on Tuesday? So as I said before, pause the video and reread this problem several times to yourself so you sort of have an idea what we're doing. So pause it. Okay, so hopefully you've paused it. Read it again, and we always go back to the question. How many squash did he pick on Tuesday? So that's how we're going to define our variable. S will be the number of squash picked on Tuesday. So this whole sentence talks about Tuesday. On Tuesday, Mikey picked half as many squash as the combined number of tomatoes, watermelon, and zucchini. Okay, so combined number. What does that mean? Combined number. Combined number of tomatoes, watermelon, and zucchini. That means we're going to add, right? So let's let T be the number of tomatoes, W is the number of watermelons, and Z is the number of zucchini. So let's do a piece at a time. Combined number of tomatoes, watermelons, and zucchini. Combined number of tomatoes, watermelons, and zucchini. So this part of the problem means number of tomatoes plus the number of watermelons plus the number of zucchini. Do you see I'm using these variables right here? Okay, that's what this piece in yellow means. Okay, so on Tuesday, Mikey picked half as many squash as the combined number of tomatoes, watermelon, and zucchini. So, picked half as many squash. Well, number of squash we're calling S, right? So half as many S as the combined number of tomatoes, watermelons, and zucchini. Well, we just said that's T plus W plus Z. So I picked half as many S as T plus W plus Z. And a lot of students are going to do this backwards. So here's the question. Is it S equals 1/2 times T plus W plus Z? Or is it 1/2 S equals T plus W plus Z? Okay, a lot of students are going to read this one backwards. So we're going to pull a number out of the air for scratch just to see if we can figure it out and talk it out. Okay? So this is scratch work, has nothing to do with this problem. This is just sort of to help me talk it out, okay? So we're going to choose an even number. The reason I'm doing that is I want a number I can easily take half of. Choose an even number. Has nothing to do with the problem, so I'm going to pick something that's nowhere in the problem. I'm going to say 100. Okay, and then we're going to talk it out. Half as many S as T plus W plus Z. Okay, half as many S as, so we're going to replace this T plus W plus Z with 100. Okay, so half as many S as 100. Half as many S as 100. So I'm comparing S and I'm comparing T plus W plus Z. Half as many S is 100. Half as many S is 100. Half as many S as 100. Well, that's half of 100, right? So if T plus W plus Z is 100, half of 100 is 50, right? Put an equal sign there. Which side gets the 1/2 power? Do I put the 1/2 here? Is that a true statement? Nope. 1/2 has to go on this side. So 50 equals 1/2 times 100. That means the 1/2 has to go here. Does that make sense? Again, I've done this a lot of times, and a lot of students are going to do this one backwards. They read it as pick half as many S as this, so they do pick half of S. That doesn't say half of S. Half as many S as this, so it's half of this one. Okay? So we have to be very careful. So we're going to use this one. So half as many squash as the combined number of tomatoes, watermelons, and zucchini. We just said we're going to get S equals 1/2 times T plus W plus Z. But in the first sentence, we know what T is on Tuesday, we know what W is on Tuesday, and we know what Z is on Tuesday. Okay, so we're going to take everything in this sentence and we're going to plug into here. So we know there were 7 watermelons on Tuesday, so we're going to 7 right there. We know there were 15 zucchini on Tuesday, so we're going to put a 15 right there. We know there were 4 tomatoes on Tuesday, so we're going to put a 4 right here. And then we're going to clean this up. 4 plus 7 plus 15, and then we're going to divide by 2. This equals 1/2. 7 plus 4 is 11, plus 15. We get 1/2 times 26. S is 13. So he picked 13 squash on Tuesday. Let's do another one. Mikey picked 7 watermelons, 15 zucchini, 4 tomatoes, and 13 squash on Tuesday. On Tuesday, the number of squash Mikey picked was twice the number of bell peppers, less 1. How many bell peppers did he pick on Tuesday? So, as I've said before, I want you to pause the video and read it again to yourself. I'll wait. When you're done, play the video again. Okay, hopefully you've done that. We go to the question. How many bell peppers did he pick on Tuesday? So that's how we're going to define our variables. B will be the number of bell peppers picked on Tuesday. So then we go to the sentence. The number of squash Mikey picked. Okay, so probably should think about squash. S will be the number of squash he picked on Tuesday. So the number of squash he picked, we're calling S for right now, was. Remember, our verb is an equal sign. Was. Okay, now we're going to go pieces. Twice the number of bell peppers, less 1. Okay, so we know number of bell peppers. Number of bell peppers is B. Twice the number of bell peppers. This part right here is 2B. Okay, then what does less 1 mean? Less 1 means we're going to subtract 1. So, the number of squash, S, was equals twice the number of bell peppers, 2B, less 1, subtract 1. Okay, so we're going to solve this for B, for bell peppers. How many bell peppers did he pick? Twice the number of bell peppers, 2 times B. Okay, and less 1 is subtracting. This whole thing is 2B. I need to know one more variable, right? We'll go back to the first sentence. He picked 7 watermelons, 15 zucchini, 4 tomatoes, and 13 squash. So I'm going to take this 13 squash. I'm going to plug in right here. So 13 equals 2B minus 1. We're going to solve for B. Solve for B. We're going to add 1 to both sides. So we get 14 equals 2B. We want the coefficient of B to be 1. So divide by 2, divide by 2. B is 14 divided by 2, which is 7. B is 7. So how many bell peppers did he pick on Tuesday? Well, he picked 7 bell peppers on Tuesday. Okay.